Okay, welcome to a Smartcast. I have been cheating off of Bob Gilbreath ever since he was an intern at P&G, and he led a task force on word-of-mouth marketing, and now he has progressed to become the Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer at Bridge Worldwide, one of the top digital agencies with some of the best clients on planet Earth, part of the WPP network. And Bob has just written a book entitled The Next Evolution of Marketing, and it's all about this concept of marketing with meaning. I think it's breakthrough. He has a very important message, and we're going to talk to Bob a little bit about this book and why it's important for all of us, including the members of SMART, to read it. So Bob, what's the 140 characterization of this book? And you're going to need to know that question because you're going to have to start tweeting, the good word about your launch, which is happening right now, right?
The launch is happening right now. It officially hit stores on October 2nd. And I'd say the 140 character or close enough would be in a world where people can choose to ignore and even protest your advertising. The only thing we can do as marketers is actually create marketing that people choose to engage with and marketing that itself improves people's lives.
So meaning breaks.
That's over 140.
That's all right. No. But I mean, you're basically saying that meaning breaks through.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the only thing that can break through at this point. Yes, there are still some signs that the traditional media is still working. TV is still having some effects, but if you look by and large, the time is right for us to start shifting really the entire marketing paradigm. Instead of finding new and better ways to interrupt people to be that 3,001st impression that they see on a given day, why not accept that the consumer is boss, that we want to improve their lives, and make that the focus of our marketing. And that's really the theme of the book. It's something that we've been doing for a while at our agency, and now we're kind of doing some meaningful marketing for our agency by sharing our special sauce with the world in hopes that we can really kind of create a movement here and bring some better results and better respect to the advertising business.
But before you get into that, let's talk about some of the core foundations. Are there some underlying assumptions here about consumer attitudes towards advertising that you're tackling? Are we continuing to see trust decrease? Is there heightened skepticism? Is this partly a reaction to greater clutter, more intrusion? Is the consumer just getting slapped around so many times that we just need to find another approach?
Yeah, I think it's all the above, really. I mean, I think the starting point that we see again and again is that people are increasingly just ignoring interruptive messages. So time and time again, we try to buy more eyeballs, try to find new scale audiences, and it's harder and harder to reach them. And then at this point, they become better at ignoring. It's advertising is becoming wallpaper through the day. And even in the digital realm, I mean, we see this with eye tracking studies that people, no matter how targeted, no matter how great a banner ad may be, even on a company's own website, that their eyeballs are not going there. Eye tracking shows they go to the content they want to see, and they ignore those offers that we put in front of them. So that's the minimum. But at maximum, people are using some of their newfound freedom in choosing the media that they want, the freedom to skip advertising. They're taking that freedom that they have and then using it to actively avoid marketing in some ways, demanding that Hulu, for example, have fewer ads than network television. Yes, they're doing well there, but by cutting the ad load, as it's called, because they know that in a digital realm, people will not sit through more and more interruption. But then even then, some people are taking it to the even further extent by actively petitioning their governments to stop the amount of advertising that they're seeing every day. So the city of Sao Paulo, Brazil has banned advertising in outdoor. We're seeing that with even going back to the do not call list, 72% of Americans registered on that. I mean, 72% of Americans don't vote in any given election. And so that shows that there's a kind of growing resistance. And then we're seeing it now in pharmaceutical marketing, for example. We're seeing it in different kind of limits where people feel emboldened to ask for even protection from government officials.
So I can't resist asking this question as a follow-up. I mean, you're part of one of the world's largest advertising network. I mean, is this just shot across the bow on what all these other agencies do in the WP network? Are they looking to what you're writing is like potentially the roadmap for where they need to go too?
Of course, I mean, and I mean, this is in a way kind of, like I said, giving away our secret sauce, but everyone is feeling this pain, and I think what I'm trying to do with this book is actually to get a little bit out of the tactics of, do we need to go to social media? Do we need to go to digital? There's a big reason why people haven't shifted significant chunks of their budgets to that new medium, and that's that we haven't given them something that is working as well. So this is a book is almost saying, like, with the shift to consumer control, with the shift to too many interruptions in a given day, let's take this time to take a step back and rethink the entire purpose of marketing. And when you start thinking about the purpose of marketing being able to add value to people's lives through the marketing itself, then all of a sudden you start finding the right way to go to digital, the right way to use social media, even the right way to use television and print still.
Well, you partly dodged my question, but I'll let you off for it. But that's understand it. Let's focus a little bit more on the digital and social media. Do you think that there's something in what those platforms allow us to do that speaks to meaningful marketing? Is there something in the intimacy, in the connections, in the interactivity, in the bonding that allow us to move more aggressively, get critical learning?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, well, one of even how this idea came up was through a lot of the work that we do as a digital advertising agency. And the simple fact is that when we're creating a relationship marketing program, when we're sending email, when we're creating widgets, when we're putting up a social networking page, that work has to be meaningful to the consumer. We can't force them to read our email. We can't force them to download a widget. We can't force them to install our iPhone apps. And so by its nature, we've kind of been living in that world where to win in digital, you do have to create things that people want to be a part of, that they're choosing to engage with. And so that is something that's kind of driven us into creating tools for online for people to manage their diabetes, even great banner ads. We won a Cannes Gold Lion this year for a banner ad for Pringles that people choose to click. And they're choosing to click it 96 times because it's fun, it's entertaining, and it's very playful. And then they're choosing to send that to their friends. And so that's an example how we could even take something that's been abused and is very much the old world medium, even in new media, banner ads, and turn it into something that is useful and valuable and advertising people want to play with.
If I'm sending this to my employees or my clients and they're like, dude, I've only got a few minutes, what chapter would you recommend? What is most meaningful to Bob? I mean, in my book, it was the chapter about consumer affairs as the center of marketing. What's your most meaningful chapter here?
Actually, it'd be the second chapter, where I actually first introduced the concept of meaningful marketing and have a framework called the hierarchy of meaningful marketing. But actually, the centerpiece of that chapter is 4 case studies of companies that mainly had been doing poorly for years. Companies that had mainly been doing poorly, but then actually were forced through challenge to try something new in their marketing. Talk about Nike, Burger King, Dove, and also one you may not have heard the story of, the Partnership for a Drug-Free America, a nonprofit that had been getting millions of dollars in free marketing, actually choosing to turn that TV media off and do more meaningful work, especially through digital. And even more meaningful, this chapter is already free for download online.
Aha.
So you can check it out and get a lot of the good content there without.
So what's meaningful is also a bit of a free ride. Hey, so we've been talking to Bob Gilbreath, breakthrough thinker, works with some of the top brands, part of one of the biggest advertising networks, and I really encourage that you check out what he has to say and be inspired.